Welcome back to Uthanax Legion, a division of the Kolat Information Network. We continue today with our set review of Into the Accordlands. We are now into the fighter class items section. If you would like to see the previous videos in this list, that is in the description below. Um, so there are quite a number of non-multi-class fighter items to go over. So let's get started. First is Arok Mail. This is a level 6 fighter item, armor mail, plus 1 attack, plus 3 to armor class. Unique. If this character is a cleric or paladin, other characters in this rank with the same alignment as this character gains plus 1 attack and plus 3 armor class. So, um, this is a reprint. Goes all the way back to sneak attack. Um, the so the only way that you'll ever be able to use the text of it being a cleric is if it is on a character that is multiclassing. Um, because this item is not multiclass. Weirdly, um, paladin. There are a number of paladins in this set. Um, And I think that's probably where you'll see them. Free Kingdoms definitely has multiple warlords with that this might could fall on, or multiple characters this could fall under. Um, this is a nice stat bonus that you could pass around. Um, Although obviously it does require a little bit of work. You can't, especially early on in an environment, it's hard to get all your characters of the same alignment. Um, but I think flavor wise, it is a good card to reprint and use in a new environment. Next is Bardich. This is a level 6 fighter item, weapon, polearm, shield, gauntlet. So it's going to take up 3 slots, plus 5 attack, plus 2 armor class. Um, if your deck doesn't care about having, if you're not running shield or gauntlet cards in your deck, then this thing is a house. Plus 5 attack, plus 2 armor class. Um, Biggest issue is this is only, without a lot of work, this is only going to get played on your Warlord or level 3 or higher characters. So be aware of that. Um, but it is a very simple card and good for new players to learn with. Um, it was a good call to reprint a card like this. Next up is a legendary. This is Blade of Antiquity. Level 9 fighter item, weapon sword, plus 5 attack, plus 2 armor class, charisma plus 5, power attack plus 5 skill, plus 1 hit point. This character gains an additional melee strike, base plus 5, while attacking. All right, so This one is going to be difficult to play. I absolutely love the design. It is extremely powerful. Um, with Bardich, you get obviously we just went off over Bardich. This is has the same stat bonuses, but you get 2 feat +5 skill and +1 hit point, and then an additional attack for 3 additional levels. Now, here's where the problem comes in. Most warlords are level 5s. Some are level 4s. Um, so if they are level 5s in rank 3, you can immediately equip a level 8 item to them. Um, um, so for this, for you to be able to equip this, you're going to have to get another level, another character in rank 3, and then you're going to have to move your warlord back one to be able to play this. So there's going to be some hoops to jump through with a card like this, but it is extremely powerful. Um, having 2 baseline um, feats on your warlord that he gains or they gain, and then another +5 skill on top of that, um, means that you're going to be able to trigger these either of these almost immediately, which is kind of crazy. And he's going to have so many attacks. So it's going to be a brutal card. Um, uh, Now, normally fighters want to be in the front rank, mixing it up. So again, I don't know how much this will see play, but the effect is immensely strong. Next up is Breastplate of Power. This is a reprint all the way back in Assassin's Strike. Um, this is a level 7 item armor plate treasure. +2, has +2 to attack, +3 to armor class. Um, Other characters in this rank gain +2 attack and AC. Here's the sad news. Um, so I went scrolling back. Um, um, so the original printing of this card in Assassin Strike and Black Knives, uh, this card did not have the unique trait. Now, obviously, you couldn't attach more than one armor to a character, but you could have 3 copies of this card in play on different characters. Starting with the 4th edition printings of this card, it gained the unique trait. Um, and so this card is unique. Still, a very strong card and a easy to understand, good reprint into the Accordlands. Really, really messes with your opponent's numbers when they're trying to hit you and you hit them. So you're probably going to see Breastplate of Power once again. Next is Brunter's Helm. This is a level 5 item helm. Gives +1 to armor class and +1 hit point. Long-standing fighter item. Been around since the dawn of the game in 2001. Um, an easy card to play under your fighter warlord and give him a little bit of buff on defense and a little bit of health buff. uh, to let you go down. And also, I love the fact that the way the new frame looks, you get a more zoomed in look on the helm, and that is just chef's kiss. Next is Cheap Sword. So this is a level 2 item weapon sword. Adds +2 to the the physical attack and has a death react. Return cheap sword to your hand. Uh, Another um, yeah, well placed, well used reprint. This is from Death's Bargain. It's a nice item to uh, deploy on your frontline troops to make them bigger, and if they die, you get the weapon back, so you can buff somebody else. Um, Works really well in decks that want to see item play triggers, dwarves, for example. Valdemir, Valdemir. Um, Definitely liked this card. So yeah, nice to see another uh, strong card return. Next, we have Cumbersome Helm. So this is a level 3 item helm and gives +1 armor class. Um, so while this is an easy card to understand, I don't expect this to see a lot of play. This seems to fit more of a limited base card. Um, Cheap Sword can also fit that, but I have seen it in constructed decks before. Um, Offers a little bit of protection, uh, but unlike something like Brunter's Helm, which also adds an extra hit point, um, I don't expect a card like this to see play outside of limited. Now this card is going to be a menace. Um, Deverenius's Axe is a level 7 item weapon axe treasure. It it is a lightning damage type plus gives +3 bonus and has the ability react after this character hits with a melee strike. The target of the strike and up to one opposing character adjacent to the target must succeed with a reflex save of DC 18 or spend and suffer a wound. Um, this being playable onto your Warlord from turn 1, um, and not being unique, I think that might end up being a problem. Um, this thing is going to wreak havoc. Um, Obviously, the secondary effect doesn't mean that it will always get the additional pieces, but it also doesn't mean that it won't either. Um, it really messes with your opponent's numbers and being able to deal, I guess, technically up to 3 wounds, um, one from the strike itself, and then up to 1 each for the other 2 abilities is amazing. Um, get your item hate ready for this thing because you're going to need it. Next is another new card, which is also the background art here. Eager Blade, a level 4 item weapon sword. It gives +2 to the attack bonus, melee attack bonus. And it also reads that if a character moved this turn, they gain advantage on melee strikes. So obviously, for Um, for for decks that you're using a lot of movement with, whether it's steeds or action cards, um, lets you move them to the front rank and then swing with advantage. Um, is very good. It does take some more work to be able to do this a second time, because typically once you're in the front rank, unless you are actively moving back a rank and then moving forward again, um, you won't be able to trigger this again. But having advantage is a very good thing. And of course, it is classed for characters at second rank or farther back. And you want fighters to come to the front lines to hit things, so it it does make a lot of sense. Uh, it is neat. I wonder how often though you'll get more than one use out of the ability per game. All right, next is Everworn Everwarm Elixir. It's a level 5 item potion and has the ability to destroy order. This character gains +4 attack and it gains frost resistance this turn. Frost, ice. I never can remember which one they're called, but so to me the only the you're going to be using it mostly for the +4 attack bonus this turn, because frost resistance, unless you know your specific metagame, the secondary piece is sort of just add on or thrown away, if you will. Um, right now, I consider Strong Arm Stout to be the more superior um, item and ability than this, and I think that will see more play than this will. But like I said, certain metagames, um, when you're dealing with frost-based attacks, this might actually be pretty good. Next is Griffin of Andover. Um, so despite the artwork, this is looking very close to some of its ancestors. This is a new card, level 5 item steed, +1 to melee, +1 armor class, limited order, spend the Griffin, journey. Opposing characters may not react to or during this action. You have seen a number of effects in this particular set that allow you to react when a character um, moves forward or backward. Um, and so basically, those other abilities are shut off that read at reaction speed. In older formats, this card is super good um, because some of the anti uh, movement tech that they can do is pretty ridiculous. Um, but it's definitely a fighter steed that you will definitely see getting used in the saga format. Next is a another long-standing reprint from back in the day. This is Havet Lan Stance, level 5 item stance. This character gains an additional melee strike with a base of +1 while attacking. This card goes all the way back to Assassin Strike. I have used copies of this in Zod, um, but I've also used it in many of the Northrog decks that I played because just giving a character an additional melee strike so that they have um, a second or a third or a fourth melee strike, um, math wise, just lets you decimate as many characters as possible. Obviously, this has a subclass, so you can only have one stance, um, but that's okay. Just doubling your attack power as far as how many swings you get is usually very good. Next is Mire Death Mare. This is a level 6 item steed that gives a +3 bonus to the melee strike and has two abilities. The first is Limited Order. Spend Mire Deathmare, perform a +3 melee strike that may only target lower level characters. And its second ability is Order. Spend Mire Deathmare, move forward one rank. Um, so I believe that this was a card that we saw in the Gen Con 2023 preview decks. And I think it's as good here as it was in those during those previews way back then. Can't believe that's been over 2 years ago now. Um, a steed that gives that much bonus, that if you're already in the front ranks, you can um, spend the card and perform a +3 melee strike that can target a lower level character and then gets the bonus from it as well. Is um, kind of dumb. Um, but I also like steeds with abilities that you can use after they've reached the front rank. So, very cool design and uh, also more beautiful art. Heather Burton, another classic piece here. Notharog Sisike is our next card. Another reprint. This one goes back to Nest of Vipers. This is a level 2 item, weapon, polearm, shield, treasure. +1 um, melee bonus. React after target opposing character moves to within one rank of this character. Spend Nothrog Sight. Perform a melee strike against the target. Um, this has been used in older formats, in in previous decks, um, where hey, you moved to the front rank. Oh, I'm gonna cut you down now. Um, it's it's very very good for that. Um, as as you are since you are spending the weapon and not the character, if the character's still standing, you can swing with the character. Um, afterwards as well. Um, and it being at react speed, it's r- it can really wreck face. So yes, if you are playing fighter class, um, this is definitely something that I would be looking at adding into your arsenal. Next is another lovely reprint from our past. Um, all the way back in Assassin's Strike. This is Scale Mail, level 5, fighter item, armor mail, plus 3 armor class, and the target gains plus 2 armor class when targeted with a range strike. Um, I have occasionally seen this in constructed decks in smaller uh, formats in the in the game's past history. I've used it in what is now called pre-campaign edition, uh, the time between Saga and Southern Kingdoms, um, where you don't have as many options. Um, but yeah, plus 3 armor and additional plus 2 against range strikes is pretty nutty. And obviously, it depends on your environment and how many of each specific item that you're wanting to run in your deck. But this armor is, very strong. This is gonna obviously the easiest character this is gonna go on is your warlord, but any level 3 character or higher fighter can play this as well. Um, so be on the lookout. Uh, Now, this is a new card I am very excited about. This was also in the Gen Con 23 preview decks. This is Shock Saber. Level 6 um, fighter item, weapon, sword, shield. Um, it has a lightning modifier +2 and +2 armor. This character gains advantage on melee strikes targeting planar characters. React. After this character is targeted with a range strike, spend Shock Saber. Gain +10 armor class for the duration of the strike. So this card has a bunch to like. Now, obviously, um, plus two, plus two for a level 6 is is pretty good. It's not busted. Um, this does take up both your hand slots, so you can't, so you cannot play a shield, but that's fine. It's the abilities that's the reason you're playing. So planar characters are the characters that you can only hit with um, on evens. You miss on odds. And since that is the case, having advantage when you swing on a planar character is extremely important because it lets you potentially um, uh, hit the character where you may not have. The the secondary bonus of +10 armor class when after being targeted with a range strike, um, plus the 2 you get from Shock Saber, basically means that you're dang near invisible. It's either a nat 20 or forget it. Um, so particularly if you feel like you're in an environment where you run into a lot of ranged strike uh, characters, um, whether that be through spells or through actual archer arrows, or if you are playing against a bunch of planar characters, um, then it would be advantageous to pack some number of copies of these in your deck. Um, both of these effects are quite strong against those specific types of characters or attacks. All right, next is Silver Steel Gauntlets. Level 4 item gauntlet, +1 to armor class. React. Before this character targets a strike, you can spend the gauntlets. This character gains True Strike for the strike. Um, so again, this is another lower level item. So this you could play it on your second level characters it, at the start of the first turn of the game. Um, giving it True Strike so that it can't be canceled or redirected is a strong ability against certain characters. Obviously, um, if you're playing against a lot of characters with that have the defend trait, um, or um, or characters with the stealth trait, that can normally cancel the strike. Uh, this type of card is very good against those specific types. Um, and I think the design team has done a good job of creating cards that can fit a niche application, um, that you can that are simply fine on their own, but also give you that type of flexibility against the specific decks and types that you see from time to time. Um, again, it's a great metagame choice card, um, to have in your deck against certain types. All right, let's let us talk about um, the second of the four regalias. This is Steel Forge Regalia. Level 8 item armor, gauntlet, helm, shield. So this takes up all of your armor slots. +2 to melee, +4 to armor class. Unique. Has the ability kill react. Twice per turn, perform a melee strike. So I get to put this on my warlord, get him to the front rank, and then if I kill something, I can immediately take the kill react to do another singular melee strike at my highest attack modifier. Talk about a wrecking ball. Yes. There is there are definitely some of my fighter brethren that are going to enjoy suiting up and coming to the front line for the slaughter games. Um, this thing is a beating, and as an Othrog, I enjoy giving the beatings. All right, next is Talisman of Might. This is a level 6 item. Uh, gives the bearer +1 to melee and +1 to armor class. Your fighters in this rank gain +1 attack. Well, since fighters want to usually get up to the front ranks and start beating things, putting this on your warlord early, and then moving him up or moving them up and buffing the rest of your team sounds like a plan to me. Um, I like some of these simple yet effective designs um, that are really cool, even though that artwork is kind of frightening. Ray did another good job on that piece. Um, um, so yeah, I definitely enjoy also adding this to my fighters um, to get some more juice out of them. All right, this is neat. So this is throwing shield. This is a level 4 item shield. Gives +2 armor class, and then has the destroy order. Perform a +0 range strike. So I absolutely am getting vibes of either Captain America or if you want to do something out of Lord of the Rings, the fight in the Fellowship where Lurtz throws the shield at Aragorn against the tree and traps him in the corner, and he has to break free quickly. Um, definitely has that kind of vibe. Um, I like this. It's very versatile. Um, makes your character slightly harder to hit, but also has a secondary thought where it's like, okay, I'm probably going to get killed anyway at this point. Let's chuck this for a potential range strike. Um, very cool. I kind of like where that's going, even though typically I'm not a usually I don't um, I don't equip a lot of shields. But this is a cool design. All right. So this is another new card. This is Vanguard's Presence. Level 8 fighter item stance. It is no bonuses, but gives it is unique and gives the bear charisma +0. Spend order. Spend Vanguard's Presence. Ready target lower level non-stunned character. Uh, so again, like Havatlan Stance, this is the second stance card in the set. So you can only have one of these on your character. Typically, this is going to go on your Warlord. Level 8 is hard to, um, is a little more difficult to equip on characters immediately without it being your Warlord. Charisma is the one where you can roll a d20 um, and target a character within one rank that can, I think I said re-roll a die, but I'm almost sure it's, I'm sure I believe they've changed that now, and it's like it gives the character advantage. Um, but the spend order means you have to spend the character as well as spend, and the second part means you have to spend the item as well. Um, if I guess if your character is a support character, this is easier to do. If you are, and most fighters are frontline characters. They want to be in the front lines, even though they definitely most of the time will end up being um, um, easily targetable in the front line. But um, there's an interesting push and pull dynamic going on with this card. Um, I like what it can do, just not sure if that is the, I don't know, the best way to go about it. And the last one, a staple from the very beginning. This is Warhorse. Level 4 item steed, plus 1 to your melee bonus. Order, spend the Warhorse, move forward 1 rank. Order, spend the Warhorse, gain +2 attack this turn. This has been a simple uh, staple for cavalry decks, um, where you're trying to get your big bodies that are farther up the chain, or farther behind the chain, to the front so that you can start bashing. And then when you get to the front, the Warhorse does more, as it can give you a bigger buff. Um, Simple, strong, still effective today. All right, guys, that is all of the fighter item cards. What do you think? Do you think these cards are good? Are you excited about um, um, bashing faces and skulls in with your fighters? Do you agree with my analysis? Um, Make sure to leave a comment with your thoughts down below. And until next time, no matter the game, there is no escape from the tiger.